Welcome back. We are on the year-long read through the Bible. We're in Genesis 25 and 26. In 20, these are 25 is kind of a transitional chapter. We see the death of Abraham, and he gets buried with Sarah. Um, we see the peoples that spring forth from Abraham in the very beginning of the chapter. Abraham leaves everything he owned to Isaac. This is verse 5. Let's see, let's go to Genesis 25. Abraham gave all he had to Isaac, but to the sons and concubines, he sent them away from his son Isaac to the land in the east. Um, and then we have the birth of Esau and Jacob. The Lord says to her, we have a bit of a prophecy here. Two nations are in your womb, and two peoples from within you shall be divided. One shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. This is a theme for a while in the line of the seed that we see. And then when the boys grow up, we see the differences between Isaac or Esau and Jacob. Esau sells his birthright for the soup, sort of showing disdain for a little bit of disdain for his father and the birthright, and some weakness of character, and certainly showing weakness of character in Jacob and Rebekah for deceiving Abraham and Esau in well, that's later when with the blessing. There's going to be deception with Rebekah when she helps deceive Abraham along with Jacob. So we see some deceptive nature in Jacob. This is interesting because God does change Jacob's name eventually to Israel, and so he is, in a very literal sense, the father of the Israelites. Yet we see that God is using someone of ill repute, of questionable moral character, certainly here at the beginning. To continue his establishing this line of the seed, which will result in the Messiah. And so using the weak, he's going to humble the strong. And this is a theme that God does. In 26, we see Isaac fall into the same error that his father did about lying about who his wife was. And then we see the promise pass on, that the promise is going to continue on through Isaac, and it's not through anything Isaac does or his own righteousness, but through God and the righteousness of God. Yeah, so here's a note that I have. This chapter 26, verses 1 through 5, if we look up a little bit. This chapter is intended to show the transmission of the Abrahamic blessing to Isaac. God urges Isaac not to go down to Egypt, but to stay in Canaan and dwell with the Philistines. God confirms the covenant with Isaac and repeats to him the promises of presence, progeny, and land. So we have that promise of land as well. The chapter ends, notably, sort of confirming why Esau isn't in the line of the seed. And remember, we can interpret the whole Bible from Genesis 3:15, following the line of the seed to Jesus. Here in 34, we see when Esau was 40 years old, he took Judith, the daughter of Beri, the Hittite, to be his wife. And they made life bitter for Isaac and Rebekah. So this is not an ideal marriage. This causes conflict, and we see that Isaac is going to continue not in the line of the seed, that it's through Jacob's line, through Israel, that the Messiah will come. Now, that does not mean that Esau is without blessing from God, because there is blessing, but there's also the fulfillment of that prophecy earlier of the two nations in Rebekah's womb that will contend with each other, and the older shall serve the younger. All right, that is a very quick wrap up. Genesis 25 and 26. Sorry, I'm shuffling some papers here. The next reading will be 27 through 29. We'll catch you then.